breaking news out of the Far East. A Boeing 777 is missing. They lost contact. Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 with 239 people on board vanished from radio and radar contact about 2 hours into its flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. We do not know what is happening.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, I'm Azlin. So today our group will present about the missing plane of Malaysian airline MH370. It is one of the biggest mystery of the modern aviation's history, and it's really heartbreaking, it's really shock, and it's really sad to all of us in the world. So as an introduction, I will tell of you about the chronology of the event. Malaysia Airline Flight 370, also known as MH370 or MAS 370. It was scheduled to depart from Kuala Lumpur International Airport (KLIA) at 12:41 AM on 8 March 2014. And it was scheduled to land in Beijing at 6:30 AM at the same day. Unfortunately, the aircraft disappeared 120 nautical miles east of Kota Kinabalu over the South China Sea, and there was no signal from the Boeing 777, which have 239 people on board. From 239 people on board, 12 Malaysian crew members consists of 12 Malaysian crew members and 227 passengers from 14 different nations. Of the 227 passengers, most of it, 153, is Chinese citizens. So, to be more clear and more understand about the chronology, I prepare a video to all of you to watch it, and I'm hoping that you will understand about the chronology. So, let's watch it.
Hari ini genap sebulan pesawat Malaysia Airlines MH370 hilang dalam penerbangan dari Kuala Lumpur ke Beijing. Operasi mencari sudah menjangkau lebih 30 hari. Namun pesawat MH370 masih gagal dikesan meskipun usaha pencarian membabitkan pelbagai negara dipertingkatkan. Kita imbas kembali minit demi minit detik akhir kehilangan pesawat MH370 8 Mac lalu.
the video, we know that the analysis of satellite that communicate with the aircraft conclude that the flight continued until at least 8:19 a.m. But suddenly it flew into southern of Indian Ocean. And the satellite cannot track or define the precise locations of the flight. And it's really shocked, it's really shocking news, and it's really, stressful for Malaysian government especially to find the flight. And on the first day, Malaysia government start to doing SAR to find the flight. 26 countries were helping Malaysia to find the flights, and by covering 2.24 million square nautical miles. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know, on 24 March, Malaysia government at that time, the Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak stayed in media and then conclude that the flight was ended, and the flight MH370 was ended in the southern Indian Ocean. And it's really, it's really sad to all of us. And on the 1st April, the Australia government start to giving a hand by helping, to entering a new place, looking in underwater to find the black box. Because you know what, the black box consists of many information, what's going on in the flight, what's going on in the cockpit, what's going on between the captain, the crew members and others. But we cannot find the evidence. And even there's some people state that have found the several pieces of marine debris, which is flaperon in the coast of Africa. But you just find the several pieces, but when we cannot see the full the full picture of the flight in front of your eyes, so you will not believe it, And from October 2014 until January 2017, the comprehensive survey and searching for the flight, but there's no evidence and there's no news about it. And it takes 4 years. It takes a long time to find the flight, but there's no answer to that question. Where's the missing plane MH370? And finally, after having a lot of controversies, having a lot of, hard, especially for the economically for Malaysia government, to find the flight. The search was suspended on 17 January 2017.
It's been 6 years since the missing of Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 disappeared en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. So the missing flight of MH370 gave a big impact towards the family members, friends, and also towards all the community all around the world that involved in the missing flight of MH370 in terms of emotions and psychological. So now we're gonna look on the impact or the effect of the missing flight MH370. Alright, so now we go for the first impact of missing flight MH370, which is trauma. So we know that people experience the impact of trauma whenever they are confronted with an event that threatens their own life or the life of their loved one. So some traumatic event happens suddenly, for example the missing flight, and totally unexpected in an otherwise normal life. We never know when it could be happen. So there is a little precedent for this latest event with MH370 missing for so long. So in considering how people are coping with it, we must turn to some literature on what friends and family go through when a loved one is missing. So the trauma of losing a loved one or a friend in a unique circumstances surrounding this flight can bring complex and protracted reaction. So friends and family are likely to be experiences a range of emotions, including shock, despair, anger, frustration, and also hope. Okay, the second impact of the missing flight MH370 is emotionally frozen in time. So the traumatic experience of this is likely to be further heightened up by feelings of powerlessness, helplessness, and having no control over the incident, no ability to join in the search of their loved one. So the families and friends are not only dealing with the trauma of not being with their loved one, but also the trauma of unknown, which is where their whereabouts and also what actually happened to them. So given to the uncertainty of what actually happened to the flight, many family and friends are likely to be feeling some hope that they will be or they will see their loved one once again. Without closure, some people will hold on to this hope for years to come. But it is nature to ambiguous loss such as this, the feeling of not knowing what happened and holding hope, that can keep families and friends frozen in time, unable to move forward and grieve. At the moment, those families are only able to consider what happened yesterday, what is happening right now, and what might happen tomorrow. Further planning without their loved one is likely to seem incomprehensible. So the commonalities of the experience of grief crosses countries and also cultures. The last impact of missing flight MH370 is community effect. So beyond the immediate family and friends of those missing, the disappearance of flight MH370 affects us all in some way. It has been well documented that watching or being engaged with a significant amount of media coverage of traumatic event can bring about distress and anxiety in those who are not otherwise connected to the event. So this can be particularly true for people who have experienced other traumatic event themselves, those with mental health difficulties, and also children and young people. So repeated exposure to the traumatic event as well as exposure to the traumatic reaction of those directly affected can trigger an overwhelming feeling that the world is not a safe place, one that we may have little control over. So this can bring about intense feelings of anxiety that may penetrate our day-to-day life at work and also at home. For people who have lost someone close to them, the public exposure of grief around this issue may trigger a resurfacing of their own feelings of grief and loss. So for those already vulnerable to feeling of anxiety, there is an increased chance that they will start to sense danger in their own environment.
Third is way to help MH370 family using psychological first aid. First, helping people to address basic needs. Basic needs, as we all know, it is including food, water, shelter, and clothing. In terms of address basic needs for MH370 family members that affected by the tragedy, Malaysia Airlines take the responsibilities to provide accommodation for them. As we can see, 12 family members of MH370 aircraft from Beijing, China has been placed in hotel at Malaysia. The hotel is Cyberview Hotel. The reason is to keep them updated about the Boeing 777 aircraft, that most of the passengers in that aircraft is from Beijing, China. Second point is comforting people and helping them to feel calm. Malaysia Crisis Intervention Team (MCIT) team has been sent to provide professional psychological counseling support for family members. The team is stationed at Avali Hotel and Cyberview Hotel, where Malaysians and China families are staying. Deputy Chairman Dr. Abdul Jalil Hassan said, "We are here to give them our ears to listen and allow them to a safe space to release emotions and sadness." The team also conduct regular home visits to provide counseling to the affected family members who are beginning to recover from the impact.
Another ways to help MH370 family by using psychological first aid is help them connect to information, services and social support. First, let me show you this video as an example.
Waris penumpang dan anak kapal pesawat MH370 boleh menghubungi Kementerian Pembangunan Wanita, Keluarga dan Masyarakat untuk mendapatkan khidmat kaunseling.
Menterinya Datuk Seri Rohani Abdul Karim berkata pihaknya sudah mengarahkan semua kaunselor di kementerian untuk memberi apa sahaja khidmat kaunseling yang diperlukan.
So, there is a good action from our government, which is Kementerian Pembangunan Wanita, Keluarga dan Masyarakat open a motion room to support the family of the passenger of Malaysia Airlines flight MH370. Minister Datuk Seri Rohani Abdul Karim has directed all the minister's counsellor to entertain and providing all the emotional, psychological and moral support to reducing the pressure on families to deal with the sad news related to MH370s. Other than that, the ministry also provided talian kasih 15999 to help victims' family by give some emotional and appropriate information through mobile phone. So, the families can directly contact to the counsellor through mobile phone. My last point is protect them from further harm. For this MH370 situation, the example of harm may include psychological harm or even physical harm. So, for example, during the situation, the heartbreaking tweets from daughter of MH370 Chief Steward Mara Elizabeth Nari giving a sign that she is leading to a depression because of her missing father. There is a lot of tweet that Myra tweeted about her emotional expression. But luckily, a quick action from all Malaysian through social media, giving her a moral support and good vibes to make sure she is not harm herself. Those tweets went viral worldwide until the Liverpool FC noticed her and give her support by commented this tweet. In conclusion, if you are a suspect, someone you know is being harmed, it's our responsibility to start a psychological first aid to help them, like what all Malaysian in social media did to Myra, and grateful Myra is doing fine right now because of this moral support, emotional support that given by a netizen in social media.
Alright, let's me to continue about the last part of our presentation, which is about the effectiveness of psychological first aid PFA that was applied to family members of MH370 victims. For my part, I will focus on the effect of PFA during that time, which means in short-term effect towards family members of MH370 victims in aspect of emotion. All the world know about the missing tragedy of airplane MH370 6 years ago. The family members of MH370 victims faced the hardness and sadness time to accept the missing of their family members. Based on past news that I found reported that a witness said he saw several victims' family who were crying, and some of them comforted their family members, and some of women were screaming after hearing the news at the Lido Hotel where all the family members of the passengers gathered. The sadness was felt by all Malaysians and all over the world too. But after social and psychological support provided to the family members of the MH370 passengers caused their emotions to be more stable and to show positive changing compared to the first day, which mostly the family members was saddened by the incident. The Women, Family and Community Development Ministry provide counseling to the family of passengers and crew of Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 at that times. For the next aspect, which is in physical aspect that we can conclude as long-term effect towards family members of MH370 victims. The situation showed that relatives and friends of the MH370 passengers and crew and also members of the media gathered at the Putrajaya Marriott Hotel for the invitation-only event, which was live-streamed on Facebook during 6th anniversary of MH370 on 8 March 2020. This shows us how the victims' families try to accept that tragedy, even though they still hope that there was a miracle and hope that the government will continue to search for MH370. As a conclusion, we can conclude that psychological first aid (PFA) is very important towards family members of MH370 victims. Without a good PFA, maybe some of family members will be in bad conditions, such as in heavy depression when missing the family members or the loved ones. That's all from us. Thank you.